In this section, we're going to be covering the different ways in which you can get experience. This is because the entire experience situation with software development, or any job in general, is what we call a catch-22. I need experience for this job, but to get experience I need a job. So how do you deal with that? Well, you have options. We'll start with the formal degree programs. This means going to a four-year university and getting one of those degrees in computer science, software engineering, data science, or something else. If you don't have the time to do these types of degrees, if you don't have the time for a more traditional degree program, there's also ones that you can do fully online. Beyond that, we also have many different certifications ranging from pure network related to cybersecurity related. In the last 5 years, we've also seen what are called micro degrees or boot camps. These are time-compressed programs that aim to give you a specific skill set, let's say in a programming language, in a very short amount of time. Finally, we have the concept of side projects. You can do things on your own. You can make your own website. You can build your own application to solve some problems. And in doing that, you're going to gain valuable experience. Let's take a look at the formal education route. We'll take it back into our basic roles. We have development, operations, security, and management. Different degree programs are going to be more geared towards each one of these different areas. The most general is going to be your computer science. Computer science traditionally was what you had to do to become a software developer. And from that, you can branch into either operations, security, or even management. But later we've had actual software engineering programs come about that specifically focus on pure software development. Computer science is going to involve hardware and theory and other aspects as well. We also then have degrees that have the words information science in them. These are typically administratively focused and will have you work in the areas of operations or management. In the last 5 years as well, we've also seen cybersecurity dedicated programs arise as well in order to fill roles like security analysts that are sitting obviously in the security space. We also have highly specialized programs like data science, though traditionally at the moment you're only going to find them inside of the master's area. When it comes to the pros and cons of a formal education, the biggest benefit is that it's nearly a guarantee. It's very rare to encounter someone who graduates with a degree specifically in software engineering or computer science that doesn't have a job lined up well before graduation time. The other benefit is that it's going to be well-rounded. It's going to have you take courses outside of just computer science or software engineering and round you in literature, reading, other things that may not seem important, but more specifically, it's going to give you a large computer science theoretical background. Consider that programming languages come and go, and that a lot of the ways that I'm able to keep up with new languages as they come out is because I've spent a lot of time looking at the theory of how these languages operate. The biggest cons, though, are going to be time and money. A formal education is going to take you at least 4 years. Even compressed programs from an undergraduate perspective are going to take 3 years. Additionally, this is the most expensive option. Even looking at a state school, it's going to cost you a lot of money, measured upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to do this. Another popular route for getting appropriate experience and credentials is with certifications. And with certifications, consider that there really isn't one governing body, and every single aspect or role, you're going to find a different set of certifications that are going to cover something it considers important. For example, in the developer space, you're going to find individual certifications specific to languages. For example, you can be a JavaSun certified programmer, and there's Python language certifications as well. Some of these have expirations, some of them don't. And also consider some of these certifications some companies may not care about, but at the end of the day, they're probably better than nothing, and they're a good place to start. When it comes to the operational aspect, you're going to have things like CCNA and Network Plus. CCNA is the Cisco Certified Network Administrator and is used to basically deal with network level administration. In the hybrid space between Dev and Ops, you're going to find architects and some developers at higher level with what we call cloud certifications. For example, you can get specific certifications within AWS relating to its cloud offerings. We also, from an architectural perspective, have certifications like TOGAF, which is the Open Group Architecture Framework. It's a framework used for enterprise architecture that provides a generalized approach for design, planning, implementing, and governing otherwise the information technology space. From a pure security space, we have things like CISA and CCSP. CISA is a CompTIA type certification, cybersecurity analyst certification, while CCSP is a certified cloud security professional. These are very common certifications that are even sometimes required when working in the security space. From a hybrid perspective, you have CISSP, which is for being an information professional, and that I would categorize somewhere between security and management. It's sometimes hard to place where these certifications actually fit. When we're looking at a more hands-on aspect, we'll have certifications like Certified Ethical Hacker that take a very detailed hacking-based approach to the security space, crossing over into the development territory. A big benefit of the certification is it's going to be a whole lot faster than a 4-year degree. It's also going to be less money. However, consider that some of these certifications really are building upon stuff you already would have learned inside of a 4-year degree program. And sometimes people find that trying to get up to speed to, for example, pass Certified Ethical Hacker required them to do a whole lot of self-study. This can mean that it can end up taking more time than you sometimes expect. They're also not free. Some of these certifications can be expensive in the thousands of dollars. And in terms of being able to prepare for one, there are even courses that are offered which themselves can cost thousands of dollars for passing these certifications. At the end of the day, it's going to rely on a whole lot of self-study. That could be good or could be bad depending on your learning style. There is also the concept of micro-degrees. These are more commonly known as boot camps. Consider that these are completely unregulated and anyone can offer a boot camp in anything they want. And so I personally have had mixed success when it comes to candidates coming out of boot camps. The most common type of boot camp you're going to encounter is going to be one targeting a specific programming language. A JavaScript boot camp, a Python boot camp, something like that aim to give you a high-level understanding of how software works and then just focuses on the individual aspects of working in a given language. The other common boot camps you find are in preparations for certifications, but I would count them more on the order of certification preparations. The pros of these are that they're going to be much faster than the formal degree and also less money. However, in general, you're going to find poor job prospects. You're not going to have the same job opportunities with this boot camp in Python that you are with a formal degree in computer science with an emphasis on Python, for example. A lot of this has to do with the narrower focus. There's just only so much you can cover, for example, in a 16-week program. There is no way possible that is going to cover, for example, the 80 credit hours you have to have for a formal education dedicated around the computer sciences. This is a good way to get your foot in the door, though. If you're trying to work your way in and you don't have time for a formal degree, this may be a viable option, but I would encourage you to do your own research and ask questions and also verify those answers in terms of what the odds are of landing a job at the right salary after taking one of these programs. Another possible avenue of getting experience is by what we call side projects. It's just working on something that you're probably not even getting paid for on the side to figure out how something functions. Whether it's someone else's idea or your own, the idea is that you're just working on a project to get more experience in a given technology suite. This can be very important when looking at new hires, from speaking as someone who does a lot of hiring. That's because I don't have a lot of experience to draw on. Yes, you were in school, you did some stuff, but what can you show me? It's very common these days for people to ask for putting your GitHub profile on a resume or as a part of a job submission so we can actually go and look and see what you're doing and how you write code. And in my case, when looking for positions, I'm interested in how people go about writing tests for their code because that's an important part of modern software development. There are also actual resources, for example, Fiverr and other boards where you can actually go and take on small or minor projects. However, these tend to not pay very well and can sometimes be ill-defined and hard to navigate. The good thing about a side project is that there is no cost to you. You're not paying for anything. It can also be good experience depending on what you're doing. If you can involve more people in a side project, that's even a better experience because having to do something in a group is far more realistic. Something that isn't normally communicated is that software at the end of the day is a team sport. Anything you do in software is going to involve a team of people, and from a higher level perspective, multiple teams of people. The cons with this being not only your time is that there are no guarantees. It could just be a wasted effort that nobody cares about. At the end of the day, I personally use side projects, as evident by my GitHub, as a way to experiment and work with new technologies to try and see where things are going. Something that's very important to understand about software is that it's always changing. New languages are being added, they're being updated, new frameworks are appearing, and you have to keep up with that. While it is possible to pick a language and just stick with that your entire career, you're going to find that as you progress, you're going to have less and less options because this is a highly dynamic space.